Hi, welcome back to another episode of TechTalk. I'm Dr. Kan. I'm also one of the product managers here at DEI. DEI stands for Digital Education Institute. We are educational platforms here in Taiwan. We offer courses online and, of course, offline courses. Especially during the coronavirus, the COVID-19, most of our fellow students and clients are seeking for opportunities to have self-improvements continuously with or without any interruptions. And online courses sessions with live streaming materials and courses will be a good choice. Maybe it's also something right for you. So before I get into my topic today, I would like to elaborate a little bit about our official websites. As you log onto our official websites, you're going to be able to find lots of courses and explanations and details regarding about different segments of the technical fields, the technology segments, or other non-tech courses. And the URL for our official website is www.iiidei.org.tw. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. So for those of you who are interested about finding more about courses, feel free to do so. I'm going to be putting down the URL on each segment for our break sessions, so you can use that recess time to check out more about our official websites and learn more about our courses. And if you do have any questions and you would like to talk to someone, feel free to text us, message us through the social medias. We are very easy to be targeted. And of course, if you're currently in Taiwan or you don't mind the international roaming codes, you can always reach out to us by calling our extension numbers. Different courses has a corresponding course managers waiting for your call, and we are more than happy to help you and to answer your questions. Anyway, I'm Dr. Ken, one of the product manager here at DEI, the Digital Education Institute. In my first episode, I have talked about social medias and networking. How do you decide what is the right platform and services for you, and how do you getting started with your key to all the services and channel? If you are wanting to open up your customized, very personalized YouTube channels, how are you going to do so? There are steps to it, and you better figure out the sequences. Otherwise, you could be really lost. And if you decided you don't want to have a YouTube channels right away, there are also many ways for you to browse other people's work, other people's creations, which is also a good way for finding out more references, right? It's very similar as signing up to one of our courses here. Underneath the new media sessions, we have lecturers guiding you through step by step, making sure that you are following the right trend in order to pursue as a creator, as a designer, or as a content provider in any form and any platform. Again, that has what been included in my first episode, the social medias and social networkings. For those of you who wanted to find that as the episode for you to begin with, I'm also going to include that URL on my YouTube channels with the info card, so you guys don't have to browse around to seek for that first episode, okay? And in my second episode, I have spending a lot of times talking about creativities and plannings for your content as a YouTuber, soon to be, or as a creator and content providers. There's always something you need to have in mind. What are the ideas? What are the voices? What are some of your brilliant thoughts that you would like to share with everybody on the internet, basically? Because with the internet platforms and social media's features, you are going to be talking to everybody, basically all the strangers, people that you know, people you never met before. They're going to connect to you instantly just with that one click. So you really want to figure it out. What do you want to say? Who are you talking to? When is the right timing to approach it? And where are you going to expose your content? All this basis and all these approaches has been included in my second episode, in my second video. So I definitely encourage you guys to check it out. In my second episode, I have also narrowed down to some of the key elements. As a content provider, as a creators, you do need to know the bottom line and the fine line between being creative as a creator. If you put these two together, does it equals to creativity? And underneath the creativity doesn't mean that you can ignore what the moral standards or the laws or the guidelines or some of the standard operation procedures. No. You still have to lies underneath of those. Otherwise, you could really get yourself into some troubles, sometimes maybe even lawsuit. So don't miss out on that. I'd actually put down some real interesting case studies, and I've definitely pointed out some of the facts that for your reference. And today in my third video, which is my third episode, I'm going to be talking about social medias. Of course, still, these 3 episodes are all regarding about the social medias and all these platform and services. But my approach in this video will be emphasizing the importance for strategies and management. If you're trying to own it up to your own page, let's say, or your own YouTube channels, or TikTok, or Facebook video, or Instagram videos, or it doesn't have to be a video formed. If it's just an audio content like what I'm doing now, I recorded my materials and my sharings in the forms of audio, of course, by providing on the site with my slides and this highlights. Or you could be just simply blogging it with text. No matter it's on Tumblr or you are choosing one of any of the blogging services like Blogspot, for example. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of strategies behind that, or how do you make the best exposure and to reach out for more clicks or page views or just views. And if you have advertisers who are laying an eye on you and would like to place some marketing budgets with your content, no matter it's a video or it's an audio, now we have a lot of those audio platforms like, for example, SoundCloud, Anchor, Spotify, so much. So audio base is another platform for a lot of the social medians, and a lot of the creators are aiming an eye on. So also watch out for that. And of course, the ancients, where all the bloggers start writing their own stuff. You could write an article, you can write a review, or you could just use it as a text-based bloggings, and you can still attract lots of attentions. But oftentimes, you need to come with pictures or short videos. People still do that, of course, these days. And better yet, if you can fulfill the needs for accessibility, coherence, and take into consideration, I will have to say thank you, because you are really watching out for all types of users. You are really after universal designs, which means your content is designed for all. You are also including users with special needs. Back in the past, we'll classify them as users with special needs, such as visual impairment, like myself, or people with hearing disabilities. That's why we are adding all the PowerPoints and slides and pictures and better yet captions or sign languages for those who are needed. And of course, if your user are people with mobility constraints, means they might not be able to have fingers to operate, to click on the buttons, or maybe they cannot move their necks. They can only use functions like eye tracks. So always think bigger and always think harder. How do you best reach out to those people who are the user with special needs? If your content only speaks to those who doesn't have any special needs, which means probably one of you guys, you can operate simply with your fingers and you can talk, you can see, you can hear. But they're just not everybody. I would say the number is also increasing, emergent because of aging populations. And once people are aging, there has a higher possibility which came along with the special needs. So in my personal settings, if you sign up or look up any of our courses in the future, you might be finding my name. I'm Dr. Kan again. I will be emphasizing and open probably tutorials, workshops, or courses regarding about accessibility designs. And I'm going to talk about the basic elements of universal designs. And when it comes down to different categories, different segments, and how do you design your products, how do you design your apps, how do you write your program, and making sure that it's actually accessible. Lots and lots of you guys probably heard that accessibility in times, but you really never get a hint out of it. And a lot of the programmers, engineers, or designers could also suffer. You thought that, from my standards, from my understanding, that is how accessibility should apply, but it's not. Behind all these accessibility studies, researchers, they have actually been narrowed down to different levels of guidelines. So next time when you are designing your product, no matter it's a software, it's a hardware, it's a physical product that people can feel and lay their fingers on, you definitely want to make sure that it fulfills the needs for accessibility. Otherwise, you could also get yourself into different types of troubles and issues and more troubleshootings before you can actually sell your product to everywhere else. Not to mention, it has to lie underneath the conventional right for a person with disability. The CRPD is also well defining of that. So anyway, if you're interested or you thought those courses and information like this would help you in the longer run, no matter it's your expertise, your professional work, your work in the school, or you just want to seek for self-improvement in your career plannings, this is definitely the place to be. So allow me to repeat the official URL for our website. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. I want to say it one more time because it's really important, so I want to repeat it for 3 times. Okay, it's www.iiidei.org.tw. I definitely encourage for those of you who are really signing up or watching this video, go ahead and check out our official website. Underneath the course sessions, you're going to find varieties of courses which is going to meet your needs, helping you in the longer run to improve yourself professionally or skillfully. Also, remember to subscribe to our i3EDU channel. It's an educational platform offering by IIIDEI. We are the Digital Education Institute. I'm one of the product managers here, and you're going to be able to find some of our clips. Those are our course managers, our lecturers. They are all very generous to share their contents, their course materials, their demonstrations, and of course, lots of brilliant case studies, which they have experienced in the fields and different topics and different territory. I definitely hope that has been coming handy for you guys. And before I jump into today's episode and today's topic, I want to take a little break. And during the break time, please go check out the official website. And of course, if you haven't done so, subscribe to i3EDU journals. I will be talking to you guys right after the recess. Alright, welcome back to the live show of our episode 3 regarding about the social media and networking. But today I'm not just going to highlight about the social media and networking because I've talked about it so on and on in my first episode. And in my second episode, I have basically talked about the content creativities and planning. How do you come up with brilliant ideas and make them into something feasible? And in today's episode, which is episode 3, I'm gonna be talking about behind the social medias is what is the BTS, not the bulletproof boy from South Korea, but behind the scene, which is the strategy and management for your video contents, audio contents, or maybe just the text-based blogs. Again, my name is Dr. Kent. I'm one of the product manager here at IIDEI. We are the Digital Education Institute here in Taiwan. We offer technology-related courses, starting from all types of different programming languages, C#, Java, Python, R language, and for mobile application development, we have iOS, Swift coding, and of course, Android. And of course, we do offer artificial intelligence, machine learning, manufacturing, and etc. There's so many popular ones. If you are staying on behalf of the technical side, you're always going to find new courses, new sessions, new workshops regarding about that because we are all after the digital era and of course the technical side. But we also offer non-technical courses. So if you are into educations and if you are into designs and if you're into user experiences, or you are graphic designers, or maybe you're just an editor, or you are into the new medias, you have just come to the right place. We have it all for you. Before I jump right into today's topic, I definitely want to highlight, you can go on to our official website here at IIDEI. The URL is www.iiidei.org.tw. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. I have to say it twice. No, I have to say it for the third time because it's super important. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. So go up to our official websites. If you are English speakers, everything underneath that, you can just simply switch to the English websites. All our courses, the details, the descriptions, the requirements, and the course opening hours are down below. So you can always click on it and get into the details. And the same course materials, agendas, and also the syllabus is also offering in Chinese, Mandarin. So don't hesitate to check it out. And if you found one of the courses or few of the courses you are interested of, always feel free to reach out. You are going to find our content numbers also provided down below. For each different courses, there are always a corresponding course manager there for you. You can choose to either text us, message us via the social media, which is something that I've talked about for the past 3 episodes. And of course, you can call our extensions to have a direct call with us. Our correspondence course managers is more than happy to help you out. And if you're not within Taiwan and it's impossible for you to call us, but you would really like to talk to any of our course managers, let us know. We can schedule a Skype call or a teleconference. For now, especially during this time being of the coronavirus and COVID-19, everybody is tempted to switch all these communications via the internet, streaming tools and equipment. So we have any of those, either one of those with you. So don't hesitate, just reach out and let us know. So anyway, I have talked a little bit about what I have talked in the past, especially in episode 1. It's about social media and networking. And of course, this episode 2 about content creativity and planning. And today, I'm gonna focusing on the BTS, again, behind the scene. It's all about the strategies and management. A lot of students and probably one of you guys who are watching this video right now will be very curious. Actually, how am I going to manage my own YouTube channels? Or how do I find out what's like the best approach and strategies in order to reach out to more viewers, audience on the internet. Is it possible to do so? Yes. But again, if you started from my third video, which is my episode number 3, you probably want to go back to episode number 1 and number 2 to begin with, because it's a series of guidance and explanations, kind of like a flow chart telling you where to begin, right? From the head to toe. If you started from the toe, you might as well go back to that first, okay? But if you have already gone through my first 2 videos, which is the episode 1 and episode 2, you probably have a rough ideas or a pretty clear picture, right? You need to set up your own personal account, which is no matter what are the platforms you decided, but you gotta pick one to begin with. Let's say we use video content as an example to begin with. We know the most popular one is definitely YouTube, which is under Google and under the Alphabet family. And the second one, if you choose to run your video content on your social media's platform, Facebook, for example, they provided the Facebook live streamings. And if you tended to talk less and, demonstrate more, Instagram actually is also one of the good choice, which is also under Facebook, the company. Yes. And if you are targeting the shorter version of the flames, the video contents, and you think you are very creative and have that orientations, I think TikTok would also be right for you. So when you set up your personal page, when you already choose a platform to begin with, and I think you are ready to go. Basically, I hope you guys still remember what I have talked about in my second episode, making your own sellable. Yes, the sellable theory. I bet you guys do. You need to have a baseline. You have to have a ball. It's a container to contend with, right? So the social media as platforms, no matter it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or it's TikTok, or so on. If it's an audio platform, it could be the SoundCloud, the Anchor, the Spotify, Firstory. There's so much more, right? Or maybe it's a text-based content. You have Blogspot, you have Tumblr, and if you're in Taiwan and if you are old-time internet user, you're probably recalling Reg, right? And Yahoo also have a blog services. So, oh my God, they're in the ancient time. But now we have something newer, Pixnet, etc. So if you are a text person, don't worry too much. Yes, you still have room and space to grow because there are just so many different types of audience and users out there or readers. So either one of these platforms, they are also calling as the social media as platforms and services. So you don't have to worry too much. If you get really camera shy, you can still have other ways to share your ideas and to voice up. So when you set up all these platforms ready, get your account starter, customize your own pages, putting out your favorite colors and the layout. Don't forget, you need to have good content to it. That's why in the episode 2, I have talked about how do you be creative at the same time, but not violating any rules and get yourself into trouble and even penalties, right? So if you read my slides, I should quote unquote says that creativity versus penalty. I was playing with the words, but you kind of have the ideas. And a lot of people will question, is that by putting together some creative plus a creator, then it equals creativities? Yes and no. And the bottom line is you are really carrying out your insights, your ideas, and you really take actions. Otherwise, you could have just be mumbling and letting out all those good ideas to be running away. Or maybe somebody else have the same thoughts that you are. They also have great ideas. Trust me, there are so many creators now these days, and everybody with the basic elements of devices, they could have do video shooting. Everybody could just become one of the creators, the cameramen and script writers. People are really into creating, designing, and of course, sharing. So don't be too shy. If you really have some good ideas, but you think you are lacking of some skills, you have come to the right place. Because what we do here in IIDEI is offering courses for you, helping you catching up with the basic skills. No matter you are entry-level novice or you have some sort of experience in editing or shooting videos. Maybe it was just with your iPhone, I don't know. Or it could be any of the Android phones. I'm not an Android user, so I don't want to get into the details with the spec. But yes, as long as you have a smartphone with you, I think it's not difficult to shoot something, right? To record something. But in order to come up with something qualitative, which means your lightnings, have you care about that? What about the angles? Do you know what is the best angle which is going to make you look good? Or the color, if you are telling a very touching story, but what has been shown and presented on your screen is a cooler color, maybe it's a blue, maybe it's a gray, maybe it is not the right tune and characteristic for the story you are about to tell. So you want to make sure that choosing the lenses or do the filterings and etc. For all this technical and skill sets, you're going to be able to come to our official website. Yes, I love doing this by telling you guys the official website URL. Again, let me do that. Our official website URL is the www.iiidei.org.tw. Again, the official website for our courses would be underneath the www.iiidei.org.tw. The URL is www.iiidei.org.tw. Yes, you will be able to log on to this URL and you're going to find our official website and go scroll down to the course sections. You're going to be able to find all different types of courses. If you are programmers and engineers and you are thinking about improving your language skill, programming coding skills, choose any of the courses that we provide. No matter it's the latest trend, the R language, the Python, or you want to go to C# or Java and more, we have it for you. And if you're thinking about becoming one of the soloists, you want to become a very creative mobile app designers, you can also choose courses underneath the mobile application development. We have courses offered for you guys, the developers, underneath the iOS, Swift and codings, and of course the Android apps codings. So check them out. But again, if you are under the new media segment, there's a lot of different classes to choose from, right? No matter it's a user interface, user experiences, or the new devices, or there are a lot of editing tools, no matter it's graphic, it's a 2D, it's a 3D dimension graphic design courses, you all gonna be able to find located underneath our course session, which is included in our official website. So don't hesitate, okay? Since you really have brilliant ideas to share, but you are lacking of certain skills, just come up here. We will be able to assist you to make sure you walk away with abundant skill set so you can come up and do your own video shootings, to become your own social media manager, and of course to come up with more of the strategies. Of course, I want to connect the dots back to what I'm going to talk about in my episode 3, which is today's episode. And not to mention, in order to have all this lined up for you, there is an alignment to come up with the consistencies of creativities and of course plannings ahead of time for your content, no matter what social media platforms or services you choose. Remember that you are not just shooting one video, right? You are not just recording one audio, or you are simply not just writing one blog and you are good forever. Often in time when creators or designers or as an internet celebrities or KOLs, the key opinion leaders, you want to communicate with the public as much as possible and as soon as possible. So if you don't do plannings ahead of time, if you only wait until the creativity comes around, it will often take a lot of time. And while the time is ticking, it's not TikTok, but it's ticking, your subscribers could have unsubscribed you. And you simply lose further opportunities to reach out to communicate with your potential audiences, viewers in a deeper forms. Maybe you could just lie around the skim deep contents, which would be a shame, right? Because you will really attract them with your first video or first audio or maybe your first blog. So you definitely want to make sure that your strategies has aligned with your creativities and plannings. If you do those things ahead of time, trust me, you are already doing the first thing, calling the social medias and your networking management. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to cover today, and I'm going to get into the details, trust me. But before we do so, again, after coming back from the break, we will get right into the strategies, the managements. What do you need to know? Why do I have to have strategies for my social medias? Can I just be posting and without checking out the responses and feedbacks from my audience? Can I just do whatever I like and without managing the page? Yes and no. Of course, you would like people to give you feedbacks, right? Or likes, thumbs up or thumbs down, right? And even if they dislike your videos or your audios or your blogs, you want to know what's wrong with that? What's wrong with my ideas? What's wrong with my creativities? Or is it something I'm doing wrong? Or is it something I shouldn't say? Okay, so that's why strategies management is important. Otherwise, you don't go back, you don't review yourself, you don't answer them, which means you are not answering yourself. You are just shooting out stuff and ignoring them. And you might as well just neglect the whole process, right? Anyway, so right after the break, I'm going to get into the strategy and management part for your social media. But before we take the break, let me do one more highlight, okay? While you are waiting for the next session of my show after the break, you can check out our official website. The URL again is www.iiidei.org.tw. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. One more time, it's www.iiidei.org.tw. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to this particular YouTube channel, we are the i3edu channels. Subscribe now, and let's go to the break and come back. welcome back from the short recess. I'm Dr. Ken here. I'm one of the product manager from IIDEI. We are the Digital Education Institute here in Taiwan. You're going to be able to find courses offered online and offline. We have all technical and technology and digital related courses offered throughout the year. And of course, we also offer the non-tech relevant courses. So don't worry if you're not a tech person, but you're still seeking opportunities to self-improvements, to improve you at work, at schools, or even it's just a future career planning. This is the right place to be. And for a lot of you who are now here presented in Taiwan, don't worry because most of our courses are offered in diverse languages, Chinese, English. Maybe in the near future, you're going to find Bahasa Malay, Bahasa Indonesia, Vietnamese, different types of language are on your way. So definitely keep an eye and always feel free to reach out. As you go down to our official websites underneath the course sessions, you probably already find out there's a lot of technology and the non-tech courses. Yes. What are some of the new surprises? We even have user experiences, user interface, and of course, not to mention the new media courses up on the shelf for you. And in the near future, you will also be able to find some of my courses. It's all going to be accessibility related for the web accessibility guidelines and of course the mobile application best practices. And as a UED, like a user experience designers, what should you do when it comes down to designing software, hardwares, or just interface for user with special needs? You're going to be able to find courses correspondence to these niche markets and niche segments in the near future. So just be patient. I'm really arranging some of the new courses probably coming on your way, hopefully the next quarter. And if you just started here, let me provide the official URL for you guys. It's a IIDEI official website. It's very easy to remember. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. The URL is www.iiidei.org.tw. One more time, it's www.iiidei.org.tw. And at the same time, while you are browsing through the official website and learning more about our courses, remember, don't hesitate. If you have any questions or you would like to clarify it, or you are seeking for customized, or you guys are signing up as a team or as a group of member of 10, 15, and 20, you are always welcome to text us, message us, or by calling our extensions regarding about the course segments. You are going to be able to find the correspondence course manager for each courses. So don't hesitate to call, to text us, to write us. We are more than happy to help and answer. Alright, so again, I'm Dr. Ken. I'm the product manager here at IIDEI. As I was sharing with you guys for the past 2 episodes that I have. In the first episode, I've talked about social media and networking. How do you begin with? Where should you sign up? How do you get an account? How do you understand the terms and conditions and why is that important to you? And what would be the right platform or service for you? Am I a YouTube person? Am I a Facebook, Instagram person? Or am I the jumpy type of TikTok person? Either one of that. If you haven't checked out my first video and you are still wondering where you should begin with, how should I get the key? What are the factors? What is the segments? What are the definitions? Definitely go check out my first video down below, or I'll just add it in my info card. I know there's a limited number of info card that I can add, but I can definitely add one here. So once you set up or choose your options for your social media platform to begin with, now you should check out my second video. In my second episode, I basically talk about content creativities and planning. Well, not just by putting those brilliant ideas, you need to figure out how are you going to tell your stories, right? No matter it's about videos, no matter it's audios, or no matter it's a blog. When you're writing, essay writing, article writing, or you are just kind of like a poetic writing. It's going to be various from one another. And it's kind of the same thing. When you are shooting a video, what type of stories you are shooting? Is it a horror movie, like a short films? Was it a romantic story? Like how do you transparent that into a video, into images? Or if you are telling a documentaries, do you want to be very informational? Do you want to have hidden messages in your videos? So you need to give it a thought and really plan it out, right? Otherwise, your creativities, your ideas, your insights will be very planned or sometimes even vacant. That's not something you want, right? What about audio? If you're telling a story about your families, how do you make the family story sounds more exciting? Do you want to pick out the heritage part, like who inherited the properties, the money, the savings, or the goals? Okay, so you want to know, even though it's audio forms of storytelling, you want to find out what could have been the pops. Which are the pops? Which means those are the excitement. Those are the highlights. Those are going to make your readers, listeners, audience exciting, right? So you need to figure out those. And the same thing, if you use this as a reference, as a tutorial for what I'm doing now, I'm using the audio recording to tell my Tech Talks stories to you. So in order to make you guys also hear my pops, which are the highlights, which are the focuses, I will put them into bullet dots. I will also providing the slides. Hopefully, this is going to assist you guys to guide you guys through the entire hours of long lecturings. And thank you guys for staying tuned and staying with me, because I know this is an awfully long sessions, especially on the internet. But one good thing about the audio forms is that you could have two other things at the same time, right? Like you are listening to one of the audio notes, the podcast, the radio. Remember that you could have walked around in your rooms. You could have been doing your laundry in your room, or in your house. You could be cleaning your kitchens, doing lots of different types of things and still listen to the audio forms of content, which is a plus. And that's why I choose to do it for my 1 hour show, because it's awfully long. And I know that by staring at the screen, the tiny little screen, it depending on what is the devices you guys are using, you could have been using a laptop, which have a 12-inch, 13, 14, 15-inch of the screen size, might make it much more easier or comfortable for your eyes for long hours of viewing, right? But if you're watching it on your mobile devices, unless you have one of those 6.5 or 6.7 inches large screens, otherwise, or even an iPad or any kind of pad that could have make it easier for you guys. But if you're watching on a very tiny little screen, I don't think that by watching it for long hours comfy and definitely not comfortable for your eyes. So that's why I intended to shoot out this contents in the audio format. And if you guys have time, you can always browse through just to see if you miss any of my slides. But even if you miss the slides, the text, the material, don't worry too much about it, because you can always come back, right, to browse it through over and over. It's going to become an archive once it has to be on air today, this morning at 10 a.m. So don't worry, as long as you subscribe to the i3EDU channel, which is an educational platform, all these free materials and sources provided by IIDEI, the Digital Education Institute. You can always come back, always seek for the latest updates. We have updates practically, literally, every day. Even throughout the vacations, when everybody's out, we're still shooting out educational, informational coverage for you guys. Hopefully, this is going to help you guys in the longer run, or even as an amusement to pick up something new, right? This is definitely worth listening and watching. Anyway, so I'm Dr. Ken. In today's episode number 3, I'm going to be focusing on sharing to you guys what is the social media strategies. Why is strategies important, and how do you do management regarding about those strategies? Okay, so this come in as layers. First of all, as I have already mentioned in episode 1, when we're talking about social media and social networkings. So imagine this is kind of like a pyramid, and I only break it down to 3 layers. In order to build a pyramid, it's never a top-down thing, right? It's always what? A bottom-up. So down below layer 3 will be the section 1, the episode 1, which is what I have talked about. Social media and networking. You need to have the infrastructure ready. You need to have the fundamentals. In order to build the fundamentals, you need to know yourself. You need to know your characteristic, your personality, which platform best represent you, and who are the potential viewers, audience, listeners up on it. So once you decide that might be the best fit for you, no matter it's a video form, which is YouTube, Facebook, Instagrams, TikTok, or so on, you can choose that as your fundamental, which is the 3rd layer down below your pyramid, right? The triangle. If we're looking from a 2D perspective. But if it's a 3D, of course, it's a pyramid. And then, of course, once you choose that, if we apply that to audio forms of content, then again, you want to choose where to host your audio content. It could be on Anchor, as free, of course, or SoundCloud. They give you certain capabilities, right? But when you reach up to the maximum capabilities, you gotta pay. I mean, a lot of service providers would actually charge you. So you kind of know what's happening and what's coming, right? So, or you could go to Spotify. Actually, Spotify bought Anchor. So the fact is, you can easily synchronize them no matter as Anchor or Spotify. And of course, here in Taiwan, we also have some host provider, such as Firstory. I've heard they used to charge, but now it's free. I don't know, it's only for a certain period of time. So for those of you who are thinking about running your own audio shows or programs, or you're thinking about that, definitely reach out and check them out. If you don't, definitely go out to our official website to look out for new media courses. We might just have the right course for you. For me personally, I'm also planning on a few of the new media courses, and podcast is definitely one of them because I have relevant skill set and actual hands-on experience with creating the podcast channels. So I'm going to be doing courses and lectures about that. So if you guys are interested, instead of, standing right in front of the cameras and you get very camera shy, maybe audio is one of the way for you guys to think about. But even if you're running an audio show or, hosting an audio program, there are also lots of insights and, things that you want to lay an eye and pay attention to. So definitely look me up in our IIDEI official website underneath the course sections. You're going to be able to find me providing all those course materials and information for you, which might really help you to push out a show like this. Or maybe not like this because it's more like an educational show. For any of you guys who are interested in doing so, go check it out. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. It's www.iiidei.org.tw. Last chance is www.iiidei.org.tw. So in the near future, yes, I'm going to be up there, but for now, I'm going to be here, which is the i3edu channel. Also subscribe to this channel and wait for more updates, okay? So again, I'm at the pyramid, which is triangle from a 2D perspective, right? So when you have the bottom layer, which is the fundamental, the infrastructures, you have already choose where to begin setting up your content as a host, right? Video formed, audio formed, and of course, the text-based formed, which is everywhere. Even on Facebook, Instagram, you could have already done so. And now even in YouTube, they allow you to upload your blog as well. So not to mention, there are also professional blogging sites like Blogspot, and Medium.com, and of course, Tumblr. We are seeing so much more. And here in Taiwan, you have Pixnut and also suite for Chunghwa Telecom Company. So definitely just a lot for you to choose from. Anyway, so we are now moving on to the second floor, which is layer 2. Again, it's a pyramid. So layer 2, what are you going to have? When you already set up your platform, of course, you need content. That's why the second episode that I have talked about is all regarding about the content. You're not just going to put some sort of video on it, right? The video definitely has to contain some sort of ideas, some sort of opinion sharings, and of course, better yet, if you can have creative touches to it, it will be for the best. So that's why I talk about content creativity and of course, eventually the planning. Unless there's just going to be one episode and for years to come. But no, you're going to pile up your content. You're going to set up the duration for you to release more content to your site. No matter it's a video site, no matter it's an audio site, or it could be a text-based content sharing. So planning is important because duration is also one thing. When you started to have viewers, audience, listeners, readers, you want to let them know that there is a certain or specific date and time you will do postings, you will do releases, you will do uploads. But if that never happens, unless they have subscribed to your channel, right, and click the bells, let's take YouTube for example, then they will receive alerts telling them that, for this particular YouTubers that you have subscribed, he or she or they or them has uploaded something new. There's a latest post and video post or like a blog post. So they will receive updates that way. But if they never sign up and become your subscribers, then it will be very difficult to reach out to them, right? So it's more like a passive form and passive ways to share the alerts. And it's very difficult, to be honest, in the real world practice. So anyway, that's why you want to make sure that you have do plannings to have update frequencies, maybe an exact day, let's say every Monday night at 10 or every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. or maybe every Friday before the weekend. You could say when everybody is partying, you could have shoot out something. So personally for me, when I'm running my social media platforms, I have a Facebook fans page. So I set this duration to be fixed once every week. And it could be on Friday, but for special occasions, I will also moving a little bit forward of the posting time and date. What I'm saying now basically is just reminding you guys, you better have a specific time and date, or let your users, let your audience, let your listeners, let your readers, better yet subscribers, you have a habit to update frequency, right? And also keep them as a habit to always come back and browse your platforms, browse your channels, browse your content. Otherwise, you could have been finding yourself, no matter what are the contents you provided them, you will consistently having lower and lower clicks, lower views, lower likes, lower dislikes, and even lower comments. That's not something that you want, right? So anyway, for the second layer for our pyramid, which is the triangle, if you're looking for a 2D dimension, that is to have a substantials and a very fixed frequency of updating your content. And the content comes with creativity and you have plans to it. So that's why I classified as creativity plus planning. Okay, but now, last but not the least, which is on top of the pyramid, which again is the on top part of the triangle, if it's a 2D dimension, right? But if it's a 3D, of course, it's a pyramid. On top of that, then there's something that we are highlighting today. It's about all your social media strategies and management. Well, to put it this way, of course, if you don't have anything to begin with, there's nothing for you to come up with your strategies, right? You are just talking plainly. You were just standing in this vacant house. So there's nothing for you to worry about because you haven't started anything. And not to mention management. The point where you got into consideration for detailed management is because when you already have lots of content uploading to your platforms, to your channels. For example, if you have one post, okay, no matter it's text-based, audio-based, or video-based, if you only have one, basically you don't really have to worry too much about that, just one post, one audio notes, or one video, right? Because there's nothing for you to compare. But you are still able to browse and to understand a lot from the BTS. Not Bantam Boys, okay? It's the behind the scene, which means if you log into your system, let's use YouTube as an example, you're going to be able to find for that specific videos, who is watching it, who are they, what country do they come from, because each of the video behind you're going to be able to see not their actual IP address, that's too crazy, but they can kind of tell you what are the sources of this IP came from. For those who are watching your video, let's say 80% of the clicks is actually from Taiwan, maybe there are 5% of clicks from US, and maybe there's another 15% of the clicks, or maybe there's another 10% of the clicks from everywhere else on earth, maybe India, maybe Thailand, maybe Canada, maybe Germany. Yes, that all is included as an analysis back at the BTS. I'm calling it BTS because it's easier to remember and funnier that way. But you know, basically, when you log to the back end, officially that's how we call it. If you see through from the back end system, you will be able to collect a lot of information regarding about any videos. But if you just have one, that is a good one for you to begin your research. You need to know that by putting together a shorter video or a longer video, let's say maybe it's a 3 minutes video, maybe it's about an hour-long video like this one, you can actually see how many of you guys has actually finished my entire video. I doubt. But I can definitely check the data behind. All this big data is going to help me best improve my video as well. Maybe I'm talking too fast, maybe I'm talking too slow, or maybe I'm getting too bored, so all these numbers is going to be able to reflect back to your content, okay? And in order to come up with a different strategies or approach, you need to go back and check the numbers. But those numbers only occurs once you start uploading your content. Again, no matter it's a video content, audio content, or it's just a text-based content, or maybe just a picture, okay? Numbers like this are not only constrained down on YouTube, so you're not necessarily only uploading your video contents to YouTube. Like I say, basically there are video sites on Facebook, there are video sites on Instagram, and there are also video sites on TikTok. Each one of your video contents, once you start uploading, you're going to be able to retrieve and receive all types of data and numbers. And those numbers could be helpful to you when you are doing fixes, adjustments, and trying to pop up with another ideas and other creativities for your videos, for your writings, and of course for your recordings, no matter as sound, visualize, or just text. Those are some of the information that you want to consider once you started doing your entire site and your content strategies and management. Okay, this go beyond just putting together a whole bunch of creativities, trying to set the duration for updating, the frequency. Those are included as the plannings. So once you have all this number ready, of course, now we are talking. We are really trying to foresee, is there a longer term, like so-called the long-term strategy that we have for your channels, for your contents? And we all those numbers, big data, they cross over with one another, and there might be some overlappings, and all this means something. And all these numbers will help you best understood your content, who are watching, when are they watching, where are they watching, why are they watching. Yeah, it's possible to also answer that, but you need to do some work. And of course, The comments, the likes and dislikes would also be a close re-examination for you. So definitely make use of those as well. I'm gonna stop a little bit and we're probably gonna take another break. And when we come back, I'm going to use what I have in my previous episode. I'm going to use it as a very instant and real example for you guys. Okay, I can pinpoint out what are those numbers supposed to mean. And I don't even want to go too deep into it because too much giveaways. I just want you guys to really grasp like the core of that, kind of had the feel to it so you know what we are talking about. And when you are as a creators and as a YouTubers, KOLs, internet celebrities in the near future, you know what to watch out for, okay? Again, meanwhile, while we are taking another break, definitely go to our official website to check out more relevant courses that might help you. Of course, you can look up me. I'm Dr. Ken, one of the product managers here at IIDEI. I'm gonna talk more about the details, and for some of my future references and courses online, you can definitely find me on our online course sessions, okay? The official URL for our website is www.iiidei.org.tw. Again, the URL is www.iiidei.org.tw. One more time, that's www.iiidei.org.tw. Right after the break, when we come back, I'm going to show you some case studies and examples. Welcome back to episode number 3. I'm Dr. Kent. You are now listening to the i3EDU channels provided by IIDEI. We are the Digital Education Institute here in Taiwan and underneath the Institute for Information Industry. We offer courses online and offline, and our physical classrooms are everywhere throughout Taiwan. But for those of you who are not presented here in Taiwan, don't worry. You can always sign up to our online courses. No matter it's one of those technical courses or the non-tech courses, we have it all for you. I know a lot of you guys have using the break that we have just took to check out our official website, right? The URL for our website is www.iiidei.org.tw. Underneath the course sessions, you can find it all. We have everything for you, the latest updates. What are the courses? How many people have signed it up? How do you register? How do you pay? Does the course require any pre-knowledges, prerequisites? You can always find it with the details content on our website. And looking for the agenda and syllabus? Yes, it's also included. But for those of you who are having doubts, not knowing should you sign up for the course, is that a right course for you? Or if you are enterprise or a company HR, are thinking about finding the right fit for your employees, for their self-improvements or their future career plannings, you have come to the right place. For each of the corresponding courses, we have course managers for you, so don't hesitate to text us, message us through the social medias, and if you wanted to call, you can always reach out at our extensions. Our course managers and product managers like me is more than happy to help and answer your questions. For the time being, I know this is a very crucial moment because of the coronavirus, the COVID-19. Everybody is there to step into a classroom, right? Not to mention that we have done all the procurements, the preventions, we clean up everything just to protect you and of course protect ourselves. Our students will have to measure their body temperatures and wear the mask and of course using alcohol to facilities and equipments before we started each course. And we are always on the alignment with our government. If our central government has announced that all courses have to be online, yes, we are ready for that too. We have lots of different types of live streaming softwares and applications ready to go. So you don't have to worry too much. All you need to do is reach out and sign up our courses. We also have early bird registration, which can also save you some bucks. So if you guys are interested, but with questions, feel free to reach out. We are here for you. Otherwise, are you guys ready for today's case studies? Yes. Today is my episode number 3. I'm talking about social media's strategies and management. Like I say, this is kind of like a building pyramid process, right? It's a 3D dimensional, then it's a pyramid. But if it's 2D dimensional, it's just kind of like a 3 layers dimensions of the triangles. So we have the lower bottom of the triangle, which is the fundamental, the infrastructures. You need to know where to go for your social media platform and services. Pick one, okay? What is a good fit for you? Which will best represent you, and who are your target audiences. So this is something that you can figure out in my first episode, my first videos. So I kind of have a brief introduction of that. And the second layer, which is kind of reflecting the content what I talk about in my second episode. The second episode is basically majorly focusing on content creativity and planning. Let's say, for example, you already bought a house, but the house is empty, right? You have the fundamental, you have the structure, you have a concrete world, but what you need to do is fill it in with all the furniture. Kind of like the content, right? You have different rooms. How do you fill those rooms? Maybe put in a couch, maybe having a king size or queen size bed. It depends on who are you sleeping with. Just kidding. Okay, depending on what are the things and weight you're putting into this space. So it's very similar. Like I say, the content, creativity, and planning is what you are doing when you have a space to it. You have a room to it. How are you going to feel it? Where you going to put it? What are the colors? What is the frequency going to walk out that door and come back in? And how long are you going to clean your room? Those are the frequency, core to core, saying that how often are you going to upload, update to have a post on your social media platform, right? So it really talks back and it's really reflecting. So I think for those of you who are listening and watching my clips now, my episode number 3, the strategies and management, you could be like, I never thought so. Yes, but that's exactly so. So once you have that fundamentals and infrastructure, you choose a platform. Let's move up to the second layer, which is by putting up more creatives. As a creators, you need to know the bottom lines. I have talked about that too. Creativity doesn't necessarily violate the rules and become like a penalties to you, against you in any ways, right? And also planning ahead of time, because you're not shooting one video, but you're not going to put out a whole season, entire season, like a 10 or 12 episode or even 20 episode right at the same time, right? You're going to attract more viewers, browsers, subscribers, potential clients, who knows, right? Advertisers. So do it with a strategic planning. So which is something that I'm talking about today, which is on top of all the layers, the top layers on the triangle, the pyramid, which is strategy and management. Yes. So you could also quote unquote saying that that's part of the strategy, because if you shoot it out all at one time, people will be like, what a mess. Where should I begin with? So strategically speaking, you need to make the right decision. When you put out the first episode, and second episode and third episode, it should be consistently with that index running and piling up, right? If you jump it around, if I shoot out the first episode and if I release episode number 11, people will be like, what's wrong? Okay, so strategic, you always need to keep in mind. And when you have a lot of contents to it, then you started to do management. Do I need to have a consistent title to all my video contents, or maybe to all my audio notes content, or maybe my blog? Let's say for this series that I'm shooting out, it's called the TechTalk, right? So for each of my episodes, so far I have about 3 episodes. You're gonna see I label them in the same format. It's going to be TechTalk and comma. So basically it's just capital letter T and ECH. There's no space in between. It's right away another capital T and ALK. So TechTalk, comma, and that's where I'm gonna talk about in my each episode. So first episode will be Tech Talk, social medias and networking. Second episode will be Tech Talk, creativity and planning. And for today's episode, it's again Tech Talk, strategy and management. Okay, so there you go. You need to find like a consistent patterns. People know that, okay, it's all about the Tech Talk. I talk about technical relevance, introductions, informationals, and maybe it's an entry level. Maybe this is an episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Do you want to put the numbers and labels to it? These are all part of the management process. So keep that in mind. As time goes by, as you are putting and uploading, posting more contents, management is so important. And let's again take YouTube for example. If you're uploading everything up on YouTube, right? Remember they have several different tabs. The first tab will be like your landing page. The second tab basically is just videos. So any video contents you uploaded without any patterns, without any playlists, it will be right here. Anyway, the third tab normally it's a list that you created. So use my own personal YouTube for example. I will put together on my third tab, I create like a playlist. There's gonna be playlist number 1. Maybe it's all TV interviews. Let's say if I got onto a television show, then I have interviews. So I can put those interviews all together underneath this playlist. So next time when your subscribers or viewers or new viewers, audience, they want to learn more about you, they can simply just keep on tab number 3. They see the playlist and they'll see your label that says TV interview, so they know where to find you. And maybe I can also create another playlist. One of my favorites, let's say if I have a podcast show, I would just type in playlist number 2, playlist of Dr. Ken. I can just change the label to Dr. Ken's podcast. You're going to be able to find my podcast show all right here. Maybe it's my podcast show starting from 2018 and all the way to 2019 and 2020 up to now. So you are doing some sort of management, right? So the third tab, playlist, is up for you to managing your own content. And if you're not intended to do so, then you could really get yourself into some big mess. As you are uploading and sharing more stuff, it could be really messy, trust me. So I've been running social media as this platform, YouTube, for a little bit now. So you could only imagine how fuzzy it is, right? So anyway, in the following, I'm going to use the content that I have a little bit from my previous episode number 2. I used the covers as I was mentioning. These covers was done neatly, creatively, and stunningly by all these different YouTubers, various of musicians on the internet. So again, browse through their 10 seconds of work and let's see what are some of the key elements you're gonna manage and pay attention to. Alright, so all these mini seconds, I put together a few 10 seconds from them because you need to know that if you are borrowing some of the contents on the internet, you want to make sure that's not intrusive of copyright. And even does so, you need to write it down because it's other people's hard work, right? Anyway, so this 10 seconds of each of these creations is from the song Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. And like I say, you can probably hear who I like, right? For example, the one that I've just mentioned, Dustin Prince, country-style singers, creators himself, and he teach people how to play guitar, right? I really enjoy listening to him. If you guys have the chance, definitely go check out the entire song. He played the whole songs in a very country-style, country tunes. I love his vocals. But guess what? Even though he released only a couple of years ago, yes, it's not very long. This song should be like a 1988 version, so it's definitely way beyond that. But he only released this cover version of his song like 2 years ago, I believe, and then he only received about 5,000 each clicks, which is less than 6,000. So you kind of know like, oh, okay, to have a stunning vocal is not maybe the only one element to have all the clicks you're imagining of, right? And the likes, so does the comments. So now you know, maybe it was the sound quality, maybe it was just because people don't really know who Dustin Prince is. So you probably already know by shooting out a cover, it was already one of the strategy, right? The strategy help you to best promote yourself, your own video, maybe just one single video. And if people like you, people subscribe to you, there's a higher chance they will also go around and check out other contents that you have on your social media as platform. So let's say if people go to Dustin Prince YouTube channels, they will see, is there any songs that are relevant to Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, right? If it's with the same type of songs and music, maybe people will also click on those videos. And some of the subscribers, they are very loyal. Once they subscribe to you, they will find time to go over your latest video and all the way to the ancient time, maybe the first video post. So really, you need to make sure that you are finding the best strategies to best representing yourself. Let's see, if we never learn about this artist, let's also use Dustin Prince for example, but because apparently he was a very good singer, he also plays good guitar, but people don't know who he is. He was just nobody, right? Or I should say just anybody like us. So by doing a cover from a very popular song in the past, and of course a very popular and iconic celebrity or musician or artist, it will definitely raise up your exposure every single time when somebody is checking out this song. When you're doing a Google search on the SEO session, there is a high chance of your song popping up all alone, right? Because it's an alignment to the same title, to the same artist. So you have a higher chance to be heard or to be seen or to be reached. Anyway, so that's like one of the best strategy that I'm really telling you guys. And management, of course. If you look at the clicks, if you look at the comments numbers and the feedbacks, you know what else you should do in the longer run in terms of making your strategy and your management styles coherent with one another, which is very important. Anyway, I didn't want to shoot out more information to you guys. I probably should just stop here. I definitely hope you guys for the past 3 episodes, including this one, you guys have lots of takeaway. I definitely hope you guys have some sort of takeaway. And if you guys are still curious and wanting to learn and find out more, remember, you can always come back to our i3edu channels. I hope you already subscribe and really click like of this video and comment and let me know if you guys wanted to hear more topics from me. And of course, if you are very aggressive and wanted to pick up more, feel free to come to our official website here at IIDEI. You can find more courses that might be a good help to you, to help you, to guide you through when it comes to work, comes to school, or just self-improvement. Who knows, maybe a future career planning ahead of time. Anyway, our official website is www.iiidei.org.tw. Again, our official website is www.iiidei.org.tw. Before I let you go, one more time, the official website from us is www.iiidei.org.tw. All the courses are offered online and offline. No matter where you are, when you are, who you are more than welcome to contact us. You can text us, message us, or calling us, shoot out all your questions. All the correspondence course managers is more than happy to help. I'm Dr. Kent. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have lots of takeaways in the rest of our clips and videos. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Go, catch more.